India rejects Chinese claims on Galwan Valley. Ministry of External Affairs says making exaggerated and untenable claims by China is contrary to the understanding. Says Galwan Valley belongs to India. Prime Minister Modi calls an all-party meeting on Friday on the issue. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says the supreme sacrifice made by Indian soldiers will not go in vain. Says India's unity and integrity are most important and no one can doubt India in defending it. Says India always wants peace but will give a befitting reply if provoked. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to launch the auction of coal mines for commercial mining via virtual platforms with a theme Unleashing Coal, New Hopes for Atmanirbhar Bharat. During the sixth round of consultation on COVID-19 with the Chief Ministers of states and union territories, Prime Minister Modi asks states to make full use of their existing testing capacity, stresses that saving lives should be the top priority. Even as death toll in India due to COVID-19 nears 12,000, number of cured and discharged COVID-19 patients keep rising to nearly 1.87 lakh, with total active cases standing over 1.55 lakh. Global cases rise over 83.2 lakh, with over 4.47 lakh fatalities. India elected as non-permanent member of the United Nations Security Council for a 2-year term. Being unchallenged candidate, India gets 184 out of 192 valid votes. US President Donald Trump signs bill to sanction Chinese officials over its treatment of Uyghur Muslims, says legislation holds accountable the perpetrators of human rights violations and abuses to eradicate ethnic identity and religious beliefs of Uyghurs and other minorities in China. Good morning. You're watching DD News and I'm Preeti presenting the bulletin. In the next half an hour, we'll get you an account of everything that's been making it to the headlines. Our top story first. Amidst the brewing tension along the LAC, India has once again made it clear that Galwan Valley belongs to India. Earlier, the Chinese side had claimed that the sovereignty of Galwan Valley belongs to China. Ministry of External Affairs in a statement has said that the claim is exaggerated, untenable and contrary to the understanding reached by both the sides during military commanders' meeting on 6 June. The statement by MEA also refers to the telephonic talks between External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar and Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi on Wednesday, in which both agreed that the overall situation should be handled in a responsible manner and that the understandings reached between senior commanders on 6th of June should be implemented sincerely. President Nath paid homage to the soldiers of the Indian Army who were martyred in Galwan Valley incident in Ladakh. In a tweet, the president said, and I quote him, "As Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces, I bow to the exemplary courage and supreme sacrifice of our soldiers to protect the sovereignty and integrity of the country. All those who had laid down their lives in Galwan Valley of Ladakh have upheld the best traditions of the Indian Armed Forces. Their valor will be eternally etched in the memory of the nation. My deepest condolences to their families." Prime Minister Narendra Modi paid homage to the supreme sacrifice of 20 Indian soldiers who were killed in a violent clash with Chinese troops in the eastern Ladakh's Galwan Valley. While interacting with states on Wednesday, the Prime Minister clearly stated that sacrifice of the soldiers will not go in vain. He also sounded a clear warning, saying India wants peace but can give a befitting reply if provoked. We get you more.
The nation is enraged over the martyrdom of Indian soldiers in the violent exchange between Indian and Chinese troops in eastern Ladakh's Galwan Valley on Monday night. Wednesday saw Prime Minister Narendra Modi speaking out loud and clear on the India-China border clash in his interaction with the states. Prime Minister assured the nation that the sacrifice of our soldiers will not go in vain. He said, no matter what, India will firmly protect every inch of the country's land and its self-respect. Prime Minister categorically said that India's unity and sovereignty are most important and no one should doubt that we can be stopped from safeguarding it.
मैं देश को भरोसा दिलाना चाहता हूं, हमारे जवानों का बलिदान व्यर्थ नहीं जाएगा। हमारे लिए भारत की अखंडता और संप्रभुता सर्वोच्च है और इसकी रक्षा करने से हमें कोई भी रोक नहीं सकता। इस बारे में किसी को भी जरा भी भ्रम या संदेह नहीं होना चाहिए।
All those participating in the Prime Minister's exchange with states paid homage to the 20 martyrs of the Galwan Valley. The Prime Minister said the nation is proud over the supreme sacrifice of our soldiers and they died fighting. He sounded out a clear warning as well, saying that India wants peace but it can give a befitting reply if provoked.
भारत शांति चाहता है, लेकिन भारत उकसाने पर हर हाल में यथोचित जवाब देने में सक्षम है और हमारे दिवंगत शहीद वीर जवानों के विषय में देश को इस बात का गर्व होगा कि वे मारते मारते मरे।
Referring to the border issue with the neighbor, the Prime Minister said that India has always tried that differences do not turn into disputes. He said we do not provoke, but at the same time, we don't compromise with the unity and integrity of the country.
जहां कहीं हमारे मतभेद भी रहे हैं, हमने हमेशा ही ये प्रयास किया है कि मतभेद विवाद न बने, डिफरेंसेस डिस्प्यूट्स में न बदले। हम कभी किसी को भी उकसाते नहीं हैं, लेकिन हम अपने देश की अखंडता और संप्रभुता के साथ समझौता भी नहीं करते हैं। जब भी समय आया है, हमने देश की अखंडता और संप्रभुता की रक्षा करने में अपनी शक्ति का प्रदर्शन किया है, अपनी क्षमताओं को साबित किया है।
Meanwhile, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh also paid tributes on social media to the martyred soldiers, saying the loss of the soldiers in the Galwan Valley is deeply disturbing and painful. He further added, "The nation will never forget their bravery and sacrifice. My heart goes out to the families of the fallen soldiers. The nation stands shoulder to shoulder with them in this difficult hour. We are proud of the bravery and courage of India's brave hearts." The Defence Minister, along with the Chief of Defence Staff and Chiefs of 3 armed forces, also assessed the ground situation at the LAC in Ladakh. In another development, the Prime Minister has called a digital all-party meet on Friday. The Prime Minister's office said, in order to discuss the situation in the India-China border areas, the Prime Minister has called for an all-party meeting at 5 p.m. on 19 June. Presidents of various political parties would take part in this virtual meeting. Union Home Minister Amit Shah also tweeted his tributes for the Galwan martyrs, saying, The pain of losing our brave soldiers while protecting our motherland, Ladakh's Galwan, cannot be put in words. Nation salutes our immortal heroes who sacrificed their lives to keep Indian territory safe and secure. Their bravery reflects India's commitment towards her land. It was on Monday night that a clash took place in eastern Ladakh's Galwan Valley, where one colonel and 19 soldiers of the Indian Army were martyred. Their kin have been left feeling bereft, also proud.
माध्यम से हम आग्रह करते हैं कि जो मेरा भाई का शहादत बेकार न जाए और इसका बदला लिया जाए।
देश के लिए बेटा ने शहीद हुआ है, मगर पोता को भेज रहे हैं, 2 ठो पोता है, उसको भेजेंगे।
The nation clearly stands with its braves who made the supreme sacrifice. The Prime Minister making it clear that it will not go in vain. DD India.
World over, the leaders have advised caution and concern. Russia has welcomed the de-escalation efforts of both India and China. In a message, Russian ambassador in Delhi, Nikolai Kudashev said, and I quote him, "We welcome all the steps aimed at de-escalation at the LAC, including the conversation between the 2 foreign ministers, and remain optimistic." Britain also appealed to both India and China to engage in dialogue process, saying violence is in no one's interest. British High Commission spokesperson said, "Clearly, these are concerning reports and we encourage China and India to engage in dialogue on issues relating to the border violence and also violence at the border is in no one's interest." The European Union has also advocated restraint. European Union spokesperson for Foreign Affairs and Security Policy has said that in light of the recent worrying developments along the LAC between India and China, we encourage both sides to show restraint and to engage in military de-escalation as well as to continue the dialogue. And from here we take you to Bita in Patna, where last rites of Havildar Sunil Kumar, who was martyred in Galwan Valley on the intervening night of 15 to 16 June, is taking place. These are the visuals we're getting for you from Bita in Patna. And just a while back, we showed you detailed inputs on the issue and how Indian soldiers and Chinese soldiers had a violent clash on the intervening night of 15th and 16th June in Galwan Valley. The nation and all quarters, people from all quarters of life have expressed their gratitude and condolences over the loss of lives which has been seen in this incident. 20 Indian soldiers were martyred in the incident which happened on the intervening night of 15th and 16th June. The site of the clash, that is the Galwan Valley, was on the de facto border, the line of actual control between the two countries. And also India and China share a border that is more than 3,440 kilometers. Galwan River Valley is known to have harsh climate and high altitude terrain, and it lies in the western sector of the LAC and close to our side chain. And we saw how the Indian soldiers put a brave front there, and 20 Indian soldiers were martyred in the fight which happened at Galwan Valley. So these were the visuals we're getting for you from Bita in Patna, where the last rites were being performed of Havildar Sunil Kumar, who was martyred in the fight. And up next we'll get to other news. With a view to achieve Atmanirbharta in the coal sector, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will launch the auction of coal mines via virtual platforms today. The theme is Unleashing Coal, New Hopes for Atmanirbhar Bharat. Now, this auction process marks the beginning of opening of Indian coal sector for commercial mining. This landmark step is expected to boost private partnership, and its participation, which will increase production, induce competition, enhance productivity by facilitating the use of latest equipment, technology and services through higher investments. Also pave way for sustainable mining and creation of avenues for more employment generation in the backward regions of the country. With the launch of commercial mining, India has unlocked the coal sector fully with the opportunities for investors related to mining, power and clean coal sectors. It will enable the country achieve self-sufficiency in meeting its energy needs and also boost industrial development. Our correspondent Arun Sharma is joining us. Arun, how important would it be India opening and launching commercial mining, and also this will be in sync with the idea of Atmanirbhar Bharat? Also, we've given a broad outline of how it will not only be beneficial for the coal and mining sector, but also it will be very important for the allied sectors. Talk more about it.
That's right, Preeti. Now, this move by the government will play an important role as far as making self-reliant India or Atmanirbhar Bharat as far as the coal sector is concerned. We know this fact that India is the third largest market as far as the coal reserves are concerned. That means close to 350 billion tons of coal reserves. That's what India is having capacity. Despite that, till now India was, importing coal for its requirements. So in that context only, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, will be inaugurating the commercial mining today, and more than 40 blocks will be there for the commercial mining. Now let's try to understand that what was happening till now. Till now, the Coal India, which is the government company, it's a government-owned company. It was having monopoly. That means only government mining was allowed. That means government was only mining, was in the mining of the coal businesses. That means Coal India was only mining as of now. And now with this move, the private players will be in a position for mining and exploration, number one. Number two, till now the companies like steel companies, the power company which requires coal for itself, they were in a position to mine as of now in exploration, but they were in a position to use for themselves only, for their personal requirements. But now after the commercial mining, those industries like power plant, steel, iron and steel plant, these companies will be in a position to mine for themselves also, and they can also do a commercial mining as well. This move will bring in a lot of new technology, private investment. Now, of course, this will also bring in a more new technologies in the coal market like India. Now, till now, as we know this fact that only Coal India was in mining business of coal, but now big players like Sesa Goa, Vedanta, JSW Energy, SL, these Indian companies will have a greater participation as far as coal mining is concerned. There are various international players like Rio Tinto, BHP. These international players will also come and invest in India, thereby bringing in new technologies. It is expected that close to 2.8 lakh direct and indirect jobs will be created after the private investment of primarily commercial mining, which is being given a green signal from now. Now it will also garner more revenue for the government as well, because as far as this coal mining is concerned, for the private players, it will not be on a fixed revenue basis. It will be on a revenue sharing basis. That means whatever revenue the coal companies or the mining companies are having as of now when they are mining or exploring, so whatever revenue these companies are earning, government will be having a share of revenue in that part. So this gives more revenue to the government as well. And the important part is that as far as the environment is concerned, government will also incentivize for those players who are going forward with the gasification of the coal or liquefaction of coal, which is primarily very much environment friendly nature. So government will also incentivize those players. So this means it will also give a major push to the environmental part as well. That means we are extracting the coal, we are mining the coal, right, but on the other side we're also going on a path of protecting our environment. So it's a big move in the direction of becoming Atmanirbhar Bharat or self-reliant India.
All right. So the Prime Minister to launch commercial mining, the auction for commercial mining today. Thank you so much, Arun, for joining us with those inputs. And in other news which we are tracking this hour, the BJP-led coalition government of Manipur is in troubled waters after 3 BJP MLAs resigned from the party and 6 MLAs withdrew their support. The 3 MLAs who resigned from BJP are T.T. Haukip, S. Subhash Chandra and Samuel Jendai. Those who withdrew their support are 4 National People's Party ministers, 1 Trinamool Congress and 1 independent MLA. The 4 NPP ministers are Deputy Chief Minister Y. Joy Kumar, Health Minister L. Jayantakumar, Youth Affairs and Sports Minister Letpao Haukep and Travel Affairs Minister N. Kesai.
It is unseen spirit movement that works within me that I should not be in the party. For that reason, I tender my resignation. We are 3 in numbers. There are 2 systems of resignation. I have resigned from the seat of this 53 ST Assembly constituency.
Up next, we'll take a look at the COVID-19 situation across the country. According to the data put forth by Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, a total of 1,86,934 patients so far have been cured of COVID-19, which means the recovery rate is indicative of the fact that more than half of the positive cases have recovered from the disease. Currently, 1,55,227 active cases are under medical supervision. The testing capacity for detecting novel coronavirus in infected persons in the country is continuously being ramped up. The country now has the capacity to test 3 lakh samples per day. Total number of samples tested so far is 59,21,069, with 1,54,935 samples tested in the last 24 hours. A network of 907 labs has been created in the country till date. This includes 659 labs in the government sector and 248 private labs. India has been elected in the 15 members UN Security Council. India got 184 out of the 192 valid votes polled in the UNGA for UNSC seat as the non-permanent member. India's 2-year term will begin from January 2021. India's candidature for UNSC non-permanent seat for 2-year term was endorsed by Asia Pacific Group last year in June. The 55-member Asia Pacific Group also includes China and Pakistan. However, this time around, Pakistan had said that it would oppose India's candidacy. Each year, the 193-member General Assembly elects 5 non-permanent members for a 2-year term at the UN High Table. India's permanent representative to the United Nations, T.S. Tirumurti, said that support from the nations is overwhelming. He added that election to the UN Security Council is a testimony to Prime Minister Modi's vision and inspiring global leadership. He exuded confidence that in the COVID and post-COVID era, India will continue to provide leadership and new orientation to a reform multilateral system.
Our election to the Security Council is a testament to Prime Minister Modi's vision and his inspiring global leadership, particularly in the time of COVID-19. The outcome is a reflection of the strong campaign led by the Honorable Minister of External Affairs, Dr. S. Jaishankar. India will become a member of the Security Council at a critical juncture, and we are confident that in the COVID and the post-COVID world, India will continue to provide leadership and a new orientation for a reformed multilateral system.
And to talk more about that, our correspondent Abhishek Jha is joining us. Abhishek, India has been elected as a non-permanent member in the UNSC, and this comes in at a critical juncture. Let us know more about the role which India gets to play on this global platform.
Preeti, this is a really critical time when if we talk about geopolitics, if we talk about global grid balance, if we talk about issues that India has been concerned with, like terrorism and other security challenges. Besides, this is the time when the world is facing a global pandemic, and at this juncture, being in this United Security Council, India would be able to raise a voice. India would be able to put forth its point of view on the various issues. Earlier, we have seen that so many times India had to lobby with the many of the United Nations Security Council members in order to have some of its issues addressed in the council. Earlier, we have seen that so many times the many designated terrorists, they had to be backed at United Nations Security Council, and India needed so much support of so many of its member countries. So now it will be easier for India to go ahead on that. It will be easier to India for asking for a meeting on urgent issues, and India will be able to put forward its point of view and give also its suggestion how the world geopolitical order should be. So at this juncture, India's candidacy at United Nations Security Council, which was almost unopposed, it comes as a major breakthrough in international politics and foreign affairs. And also, one must say that this whole thing that is going to be started from 1st of January next year, it was decided last year in June only, but all the member countries of Asia Pacific Group had decided to support India. But with the latest change of relationship between India and Pakistan this time had decided not to support India. However, that did not impact any voting pattern, and India got 184 member seats of 193 member countries. So this was a huge victory. India needed just third of the support from the member countries, but because a huge victory, and this tells how our bureaucracy, our diplomacy at the international level is playing out in the recent times, and which is able to garner support and unanimity from its member country. And this really comes at a time when India needed it very much.
All right. Thank you so much, Abhishek, for joining us with those inputs. And also now we'll get you the global update on COVID-19 situation. Over 83.2 lakh people have tested positive for COVID-19 globally, while 4.47 lakh people have lost their lives so far. US continues to remain the worst affected country with respect to number of confirmed cases, followed by Brazil and Russia. Over 21.61 lakh people have been tested positive across the US, while over 1.17 lakh people have died due to COVID-19 so far. Brazil has recorded more than 46,000 deaths and over 9.55 lakh confirmed cases and is trailing behind the US in both the categories, while Russia has reported over 5.52 lakh confirmed cases. That's it in this edition of the news this hour. Thanks for watching. Namaskar.